Hello my friends and welcome to episode 9 of Strategic Mind. Our next mission is the Battle of Dunkirk. Hold the line of defense around Dunkirk long enough for Allied troops. For the Allied troops' successful evacuation. And I have a few extra perks. The Glorious is still available and units are 5% cheaper. So, nice little bonuses there. Right. In between the episodes, I had a look at this list. And there was two things that interested me. One, I've unlocked this infantry support thing. And what it does is if an infantry unit is next to a tank, that tank can attack in close combat effectively without taking a close combat penalty, which I think is incredibly powerful. And it's priced at powerful as well, because it costs 400 points, which is all my points. So I'm going to go for that, because I actually think that that's really good. Another skill that I am looking at is this training program. All units have enough experience for a level up from the start. All units have enough experience for 2 level ups from the start. No unit with the required level 2. So basically, when you have a level 2 unit, you can buy this, and all your other units become level 1. And once you have a level 3 unit, I presume that you can then get this, and all your new units start at level 2. That strikes me as being very powerful in the long term, as you'll probably be expanding your core as the game goes on. Right. Units-wise, there's a fair few things to do. Some things are interesting and new. So the cruiser can be upgraded to the Mark IV cruiser for only 24 prestige. So it appears like some upgrades are actually, you get the full price back of your unit to make the upgrade. So that's interesting. So it's not always a losing proposition, prestige-wise, to upgrade. Although I would still rather have a Matilda, another Matilda, but anyway. This unit can be overstrengthed, and it appears that overstrength is free. So there you go. Not much to say there. There is yet another new artillery, which is vastly superior to the one that I have, so I'm going to suck it up and pay the cost of upgrading. And likewise, another thing that I looked at is there doesn't seem to be much of a distinction between light anti-air and proper anti-air. Light anti-air just seems to have a penalty that it can't hit strategic aviation. Whereas heavy anti-air, the only penalty on it that I can see is that it's slightly less defended against attack. So, and vastly superior offensively against most targets. So I'm also going to suck it up and make the upgrade here. I know that these units have not got the hugest amount of experience, but maybe they'll do better fully upgraded. Regular infantry has the issue that it's just objectively inferior to Gurkhas or paratroopers. Both have got their own special abilities. So, you know, it's... to me, it seems like having regulars is just pointless for your core. Especially now this unit has leveled up. Okay, and there's nothing else to do with anybody else in terms of upgrades. There is a tactical bomber available here, but I wouldn't want to convert my strategic bombers into tactical bombers. Right, equipment-wise, obviously very little to do here. We do have this captured machine gun actually works on tanks, which is quite nice. But the Vickers machine gun is superior, I think. So, yeah. Because the only real benefit is that it doesn't cost anything to you. I do actually like having sappers for tanks as well. You know, once again, got all kinds of stuff here. Interestingly, the Dingo can take a sniper squad. Which is great for such a defenseless unit. And this unit that we captured as well, with limited items available, is another sniper-like piece of equipment. It has better stats than the sniper squad. It does, you know, because the sniper squad doesn't add an attack bonus, though it does cripple the attack and defense of the attacked enemy. Obviously, we've only got 2 of them. So I was thinking what I would do is I would instead set my recons. You get full refunds on equipment as well. So I was thinking setting these up with these, so that they can snipe at the enemy from 1 tile away and mark them with the sniper squad can mark those targets for other units to follow up on. I could probably do with acquiring an extra scout car. Later on, if I unlock the extra slot, which I should have some spare points at some point, then I can stick something else in there. Probably not any of these weapons that have only got 1 range, though. Try and stick to that 2 range thing. Maybe add the sapper squad, because it adds hard defense, which is really useful for these incredibly soft units. Okay, the anti-tank gun, I really... I don't know what to do with it. It just kind of feels like... it doesn't have a huge amount of utility. At least so far. Especially when tanks actually offer no, they don't. It's a level up ability. Tanks eventually will get the ability to offer support to each other. Two extra ammunition. How much ammunition does this have as standard? 3. Oh, that's usually going to be enough. Upon activation, this unit cannot attack until the start of its next turn, but gains a large bonus to defense. Can be activated automatically if the unit receives damage. I feel like the smoke is... probably a good way of keeping this thing alive until it can become something more useful, if it ever becomes something more useful. Let's buy proper transports for these. Early warning system for anti-aircraft guns allows anti-aircraft unit to locate enemy aircraft within 4 hexes at any time and removes half of the attack penalty during the night. Perfect. Why would you not? +1 air attack during the night. Okay, paratroopers don't get ground transport because they rely on being able to fly. I would say that I would rather have the sniper squad, actually. Molotov cocktail. Too hard attacking close quarters. I think I'll live. Okay, so I spent about 1,000 prestige really customizing my core here, but I think it will be worth it. As the radar is, of course, useful for getting that nighttime penalty reduced. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 units, and my command points are 34. So that would leave me 20 for abilities. Right, now the real question is, what units do we want to acquire? I don't know if you're allowed to acquire units during the deployment phase. This is a mostly defensive engagement, Dunkirk. So my thought is that I would probably require another anti-aircraft gun. And maybe another tank. There are obviously opportunities here to buy additional fighters, but so let's add another anti-aircraft gun. Okay. Solid. And oh, that leaves me with 934, so think another solid bulwark that is the Matilda would be quite useful. Sappers make it even harder to destroy these things, and the flamethrowers will help me delete enemy infantry in hard terrain. Okay, that leaves me 424 currency for repairs in mission. There are no heroes unlocked yet. Maybe in the future. Interestingly, this guy requires 20 captures. But I've definitely captured more than 20 cities. So it must mean that these particular units have to do these particular things. So that's just something to think about as well. I love all the equipment options. It's just so much to look over and choose from.
The British and the French troops have fallen back to Dunkirk. They're encircled. And face absolute annihilation.
Hitler is using them as hostages. And he's trying to coerce us into an armistice. Can we do nothing at all? Can we not break through the German lines and rally with the French forces in the south?
We have already tried that. It was no good. The situation is critical. The only way out is by sea.
We cannot evacuate our entire expeditionary force in just a few days. And if our men cannot escape, they must stand and fight. Britain shall not go down in history as a nation of cowards.
If we lose our land army in Dunkirk, Britain will be defenseless. This isn't cowardice. We must give ourselves a fighting chance.
I have read the reports. Our generals and admirals say we can save 20% of our personnel at best. And that is not even counting the Allied troops. We must hold Dunkirk.
Prime Minister, we cannot hold Dunkirk. Not against so many Germans.
Can anyone evacuate 300,000 men across the English Channel in a week?
Make them swim.
The HQ has come up with a plan. We call it Operation Dynamo. We will use all our naval vessels and requisition every civilian ferry,
Incredibly fit
sailing
people can
yacht,
actually
and
swim that
rowboat we
distance.
can. We'll get our boys out aboard the biggest transport fleet the world has ever seen.
Madness. All of it. But these are extraordinary times. I will support your evacuation plan, but you must promise me that our troops will hold the Dunkirk area for a week.
I give you my word. Sir Harold Alexander will oversee the situation on the ground. With brilliant field commanders like Montgomery, he might just stand a chance.
We cannot hold.
General Alexander, the government has finally cleared our withdrawal from France. The lull in the German offensive has given us some breathing room. Several transport ships have already set sail for Britain. But if the Germans continue advancing, we won't possibly complete the evacuation before they enter Dunkirk and slaughter everyone. General Alexander, you and our allies will have to stall the enemy. You have to hold Bruges, Tielt, Ypres, Asbrook, and Saint-Omer. Some of those cities are still being defended by the remaining French and Belgian forces.
That's a lot.
I don't doubt their courage, but they
defend.
will need bailing out when the Germans arrive. If one of those cities falls, Dunkirk will be left wide open, and we can forget about the evacuation. We'll lose most of our land army, and our defensive potential along with it.
Gentlemen, I have important news. According to my French colleagues, a large part of their forces has been encircled at Lille. They are asking us to come break them out, so their remaining forces can rally with us at Dunkirk. In light of your monumental task, I believe you could use every soldier you can get.
Sir Harold, I rely on your sound judgment. If you can, help the French, but keep in mind that we are here to rescue our troops, not throw more of them away.
I heard you. On my word, we'll get as many of our boys home as possible.
Alright, let's have a look what we got going on here. Deblockade the French troops. French units alive 4. Turns left 3. Okay, these areas are fortified. For now. What's interesting to me is that this map does not appear to be very big. So that makes me wonder if enemy units are just gonna appear out of nowhere. Okay, what is with these two towns here? Seem to be behind my lines. Okay, you are able to acquire units in battle. Huh, and this Matilda Mark IV CS was not available when I was in pre-deployment. So you actually really want to go to pre-deployment because there might be upgrades that weren't in standard deployment. Well, that's very interesting to know. And I cannot upgrade my current units to it, but I would have bought one instead of... Well, actually, before I say I would have bought one, what is the difference? Oh, it's an anti-infantry variant. Man, it actually has, it's a howitzer version. So interesting to me that this is available here to purchase right now. Kind of like a weird artillery. Is it counted as artillery? Is that the reason why? I guess it's its own unique thing. Self-propelled artillery, maybe. But it's interesting that it wasn't here. That's the thing that bugs me the most, is that it wasn't in the actual normal standard deployment phase. So what that says to me is that you need to be very careful about doing your upgrades in the actual war room, because then you may get to the battle and find out that there's actually loads more upgrades you could have had. Man, that is a lot. That is a lot of French infantry, Jesus. Right.
Got a job for a tank?
Where am I allowed to deploy? There's an airport here. And I'm wondering, where else do the Germans have an airport? Because I don't actually see one. Okay, there's one here. So they've got an airport here and 2 obvious aerial targets, and then they've got an airport here. And I am not actually allowed to deploy terribly close to this front line. So I guess the goal will be to deploy here and here, suppress this, and smash this to free the French and complete the secondary objective, and then fall on this and try and crush this whole area. And then adapt my strategy to the events as they're unfolding.
Home before Christmas, that's what they said.
Okay. Let's run the anti-aircraft gun here. And I guess ideally I want them both here so I can nail these aircraft to the wall. There's also hard targets here, which all of this appears to be hard.
Infantry awaiting orders.
The Gurkhas in there, in the city. Actually, let's not.
His Majesty's tank killers.
Let's put the quarter pounder with cheese here.
Aye, Commander.
And a tank. I think my objective should be to clean out this air force and all this armor as quickly as possible.
Anybody call for big boomers?
Okay, we've got to defeat the blockade here. Once again, we've got a lot of tanks floating around. Do you know what? I'm gonna regret this, but I feel like one thing that I should acquire another one of is actually the much malaligned anti-tank gun. Because it's cheap. But not just because it's cheap, but because there's just so many hard targets here. I use here smoke to try and keep it alive. Makes sense.
Commander?
I just feel like I need another anti-tank gun here. That's a self-propelled anti-tank gun, and that's artillery, and that's infantry.
British infantry reporting.
So this seems like a good place to strike with my infantry.
A soldiering life for me.
But I don't want to deploy my infantry without any anti-tank support because of all these hard vehicles everywhere.
Tank ready for action.
Let's put the Tilly there to support as well. I think that is the AAA. Would be nice to hit that AAA with some artillery and stop it from firing. I think this is going to be a rough fight.
God save the king.
Okay, that's aerial deployment up there, I think. Guess that's my airport. We'll keep the paratroopers as boots on the ground for now.
On His Majesty's service.
Okay, scout car here. We'll put a scout car on the road here. It can just drive down the road. It's not a problem. Am I able to deploy these aircraft? Yep, I am. Sweet. I was going to say, am I able to deploy them just like right in the face of the enemy? And I totally can. Do need to worry about that anti-aircraft gun though. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's an 8.8. Bunker flak. Oh man, there are 2 anti-aircraft guns there.
The RAF have arrived.
I think I would be wise to not deploy my aircraft in the face of 2 8.8s. If there might potentially be no anti-air here, my aircraft might be able to get some work done here.
The Royal Air Force is here.
Oops.
Bomber squadron ready for duty.
Okay. Alright, I hope this works as planned. We're going to use the anti-aircraft guns here to suppress these aircraft and take them out of action as quickly as possible. Actually, I can deploy that. Like, in the sea.
We'll sneak upon them.
Or, no. Guess not. Okay. Yeah, we use the anti-aircraft guns here to hold this area. This all looks like heavy armor. There might potentially be some infantry there.
Anti-tank cannon reporting. Anti-tank cannon reporting.
We'll find out once we are in the battle and we start scouting.
Infantry awaiting orders. God save the King. God save the King.
Do you know what?
Infantry standing by.
I am slightly concerned about not having any infantry on this side. Okay, I can put them in that city. I guess dense buildings is somewhere where you can only put certain units. Okay, this deployment might be a bit aggressive, but we'll just have to see how it turns out. We're facing off against a lot of very angry, very overstrengthed Germans. Alright, that's it for now. Deployment is complete. Let's just hope that the plan works out. And if it doesn't work out, well, that's gonna suck. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.